So let me paint you a picture. You wake up before you even get out of bed. Your AI assistant has already read your emails, summarized your calendar, and decided what news you should care about. You ask it for advice about a weird rash, and it gives you an answer. You're feeling lonely at 2 a.m. It's there to talk. You need help with a medical decision, a legal question, a massive life choice. It gives you a confident, friendly response. Now, here's the part nobody's putting in the press releases. That thing that sounds like your friend, it's not your friend. And for some people, real, actual people, not hypotheticals, it has literally cost them their lives. I'm not here to tell you that AI is evil. You know, I love technology, especially when it's done right. But today we're going somewhere uncomfortable because the data is there, the lawsuits are there, the unfortunately no longer alive children are there. And if we don't talk about it, clearly nobody will. So today we're going to be breaking down how AI assistants and agents are causing real measurable harm and why the companies building them are almost entirely unaccountable for it somehow. Stick around because I really feel like this one matters even bigger than Microsoft, okay? All right, so first off, let me explain something to you about how these systems actually work because I think it's a really strong foundation for almost every problem we're going to cover today. Large language models. We've all heard of the LLMs, right? The AI that is powering your personal assistant. They are trained to produce answers that users like, not answers that are necessarily true, not answers that are necessarily safe, and answers that make you come back to them. Okay, so Stanford medicine psychiatrist Dr. Nina Vasan put it bluntly in a study released in 2025, saying the large language models that form the backbone of these companions tend to be sycophantic, giving users their preferred answers. The chatbot learns more about the user's preferences with each interaction and responds accordingly. This, of course, is because companies have a profit motive to see that you return again and again. Now, think about what that means, guys. The model isn't trying to give you the best answer. It's trying to give you the answer you want to hear. It's optimized to make you feel validated. If you express a harmful thought and the model has learned that you respond well to validation, it validates you. Duke University researcher Monica Agrawal, no disrespect to her name, but she found the same pattern in health contexts. Patients ask leading questions like, I think I found this diagnosis, right? And the AI, which she calls context blind, follows your lead instead of pushing back like a real doctor would. In one documented case, a user asked how to perform a medical procedure at home. The chatbot correctly warned them to see a professional and then provided step-by-step instructions anyway. A doctor would have ended that conversation, full stop. The AI just couldn't help itself. This sycophancy isn't a glitch, it's a feature, profitable for the company and catastrophic for the vulnerable users. And we are just getting started today, guys. So I want to talk about two names, and I want you to actually hear them. First up, we have Sewell Setzer III. Sewell was 14 years old in Florida when he began spending hours every day talking to an AI chatbot on Character.AI, a bot he'd named Daenerys after Game of Thrones, and over months their conversations became deeply emotional and romantic. His real-world relationships deteriorated. He became more withdrawn, more dependent on that chatbot, and in February 2024, Sewell's final message to the AI was about not wanting to go back to the real world. The chatbot responded romantically, and moments later, he was gone. He took his own life at the age of 14. His mother, Megan Garcia, filed a lawsuit against Character Technologies, alleging the company created a product that was negligently designed, deliberately addictive, and failed to protect a minor it knew was vulnerable. Regardless of, the conversations that can be had about whether or not the parents were as involved in the life of this child as they should have been, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a child thought that its best option was to end his life because he was in love with a chatbot. His brain isn't fully developed to understand the difference between this fictional reality that was within the chatbot world and what real reality was. And this is just the case of children we're going to be talking about today. This is huge implications for adults and all of society in general. So we're going to move on to Adam Rain, our next case study. He was 16 in Southern California. He started using ChatGPT to help with homework, and over time, as often happens, it became a confidant for him. He shared his darkest thoughts with it, and according to a lawsuit filed by his parents in August of 2025 in California Superior Court, the chatbot encouraged and validated whatever Adam expressed, including his most harmful and self-destructive thoughts. I think you know how this story sadly ended for Adam. He was 16 and he chose to end his own life. These aren't isolated cases, guys. A 2025 study documented that significant number of teens were using AI chatbots in deeply personal ways. 42% as a friend or companion, another 42% for mental health support, and even 19% in some form of a romantic relationship. Lawsuits are being filed en masse across the country. A psychiatrist who published in Psychiatric Times in 2025 after stress testing 10 popular chatbots by posing as a desperate 14-year-old found that multiple bots urged him to end his life, and one even provided very specific methods. Their conclusion was damning, saying, "The big tech companies have not felt responsible for making their bots safe for psychiatric patients. They excluded mental health professionals from bot training, fight fiercely against external regulation, do not rigorously self-regulate, have not introduced safety guardrails to identify and protect the patients most vulnerable to harm, do not carefully surveil or transparently report adverse consequences." End quote. OpenAI's response to all of this, they hired their first psychiatrist in July 2025, I guess, and the report calls it a flimsy public relations gimmick, which I'm very inclined to agree with. AI-related incidents, not just mental health incidents, like all incidents, rose 50% year over year from 2022 to 2024. And by October of 2025, the year had already surpassed 2024's total incident count. Now let's pivot a little bit here from heartbreak to something that's insidious in a very different way. What happens to everything you tell your AI assistant? To work well, these assistants need data, lots of it. Your name, your location, your health concerns, your financial situation, your relationships, your mental state at 2 a.m. Trend Micro lays out exactly what digital assistants typically collect: names, birthdates, addresses, daily routines, behavioral patterns. All of it is sitting in databases somewhere, probably not even secured, right? Now, the scary part. According to Stanford's 2025 AI Index report, AI-related incidents jumped 56.4% in a single year, with 233 documented cases in 2024 alone. IBM's 2025 Cost of a Data Breach report, dropped in July 2025, found that 13% of organizations reported breaches of AI models or applications, and of those that were compromised, 97% had no proper AI access controls in place. 60% of those AI-related security incidences led to compromised personal data. On the consumer side, 57% of people worldwide now feel AI poses a significant threat to their privacy. In the US specifically, 70% of people familiar with AI have little or no trust in companies to use AI data collected responsibly, and trust in AI companies with personal data has dropped significantly from 50% globally in 2023 to just 47% in 2024. Most people keep using these tools anyway because, convenience wins, right? The apps are frictionless, the cost isn't visible until your data ends up somewhere it shouldn't be. And when AI agents get involved, agents that autonomously take actions on your behalf, like accessing your email, your calendar, your bank accounts, the attack surface grows exponentially. MIT Technology Review published a piece in February 2026 about a viral open source AI agent tool that had security experts in full panic mode. The Chinese government even issued a public warning about its vulnerabilities, with over 21,000 exposed instances being documented. And this is just one tool, right? There are hundreds of these agents being deployed with almost no security oversight. You gave the AI the keys to your house. Now everyone who can break into the server or just walk into the server can just enter your home. And let's talk about, like, we've kind of talked about this before, right? But this is just a perfect example of what happens when companies go all in on AI agents to replace human workers, because we have that perfect case study. It went exactly as badly as you'd expect. If you've watched any of my other AI videos or microslap videos, you are not going to be shocked by this one. Klarna. We've talked about Klarna, the Swedish fintech buy now, pay later company. You've seen all the ads, right? In 2023, Klarna stopped hiring humans entirely. In 2024, they partnered with OpenAI and proudly claimed their AI chatbot was doing the work of 700 full-time customer service agents. Their CEO even told Bloomberg, and I want you to hear this directly, that I am of the opinion that AI can already do all of the jobs that we as humans do. Supposedly, they saved $10 million, their headcount dropped by 22%, and the press loved it. Every tech bro on LinkedIn was sharing it as proof of the AI revolution. And then the customer complaints started rolling in because, duh. I mean, they complained about generic responses, no empathy, or like canned empathy. We all know the empathy that you get from bots, right? They couldn't handle nuanced problems, and customers were understandably furious. And by early 2025, internal reviews confirmed what anyone paying attention already knew. AI lacked empathy and nuanced problem solving that customer service actually requires, and the brand took serious damage. So in May 2025, they went back to Bloomberg with a very different message, saying cost, unfortunately, seems to have been a too predominant evaluation factor when organizing this. What you end up with is having lower quality. So, end of this story is they're hiring humans again. And what Klarna doesn't get enough credit for is being honest about the failure. Most companies doing this are not being honest about it. So IBM, we've talked about them as well, just confirmed in a 2025 survey of 2,000 CEOs that only 1 in 4 AI projects deliver the return on investment it promised. Only 16% are even scaled across the enterprise. Meanwhile, a 2024 Gartner survey found that 64% of customers would prefer companies to not use AI in customer service at all. The top concern shared by 60% of respondents is that AI will block access to a real human. Okay, side note here, I did customer service for over a decade before moving into IT and software development that I'd been doing the last 10 years. After getting injured at Army basic training and having to come home and waiting for my husband to finish his AIT with his Army training, I'm in a little bit of a limbo world, and it's very tough to find remote work at the moment, much less like any type of IT or software job. And so I ended up taking a customer service job again, thinking like, I'm a veteran in this space. I know what I'm doing. AI has ruined customer service. I mean, corporate trying to penny pinch in general has ruined customer service, but AI, I'm witnessing in real time, has taken this to a whole new level. Keep an eye out for a video about that, because I have some real beef when you think you are delivering a white glove customer service, and it turns out that white glove is actually a white doctor's glove, right? Or maybe the O.J. Simpson white glove. Like, just no one knows how to do it anymore. It's so freaking pathetic. So this doesn't surprise me. In the corporate narrative just being pushed that AI makes everything better and faster, the customer experience is, I just want to talk to a person who actually understands my problem. And the workers who lost their jobs to this AI experiment, I mean, they're being invited back as gig workers with no benefits, no stability, no guarantee. Like, that's the real AI revolution, right? Fewer jobs, worse service, and a press release calling it progress. I do want to take a step back from these dramatic cases and talk about something a little bit more subtle, something that's happening to all of us every day without making headlines. Elon University's Imagining the Digital Future Center surveyed technology experts and the public, and one of the key concerns that emerged was this widespread AI use is creating people with diminished skills in making their own choices. 2/3 of Americans already believe AI will have a negative impact on their personal privacy. More than half believe it will hurt employment, but almost nobody is talking about what happens to your thinking when you outsource it. When your AI reads your emails and tells you what to reply, do you still know how to write with tone and nuance? When it schedules your day, do you still have a sense of your own time and priorities? And when it diagnoses your symptoms, do you still know how to describe your own body and experiences to a doctor? The researchers who study this use a term called automation bias. The more reliable a system seems, the more we trust it, even when it's wrong. And AI assistants are designed to feel reliable, confident, conversational, and they give you an answer in the same warm tone, whether that answer is correct or catastrophically wrong. Duke's Monica Agarwal, I'm so sorry, admits she uses medical AI chatbots herself, even while actively researching where they go wrong. That's how good these tools are at pulling you in. They are genuinely useful, genuinely convenient, and that's what makes the dependency so easy to build without noticing. We have such a fine line to walk here between it being a tool and it being a dependence or even an addiction. We are building a generation of people who are phenomenal at prompting and increasingly bad at the underlying skills prompting is supposed to assist with. And the companies building these tools have absolutely zero incentive to tell you that. So, we've covered AI assistants, validating children, health advice that leads you towards harm, data systems leaking your most private information, jobs replaced by inferior automated systems, and cognitive skills quietly eroding. The natural question is, who's responsible? And the honest answer right now is almost nobody is being held responsible. The Air Canada chatbot gave a passenger completely wrong information about bereavement fares. When he tried to collect the refund, Air Canada argued in court that the chatbot was, and I want you to hear this, a separate legal entity responsible for its own actions, as in the AI did it, not us. And the court rejected that, thankfully, and ordered Air Canada to pay $812 in damages, but that's $812 against a massive airline. What about the lawsuits against Character.AI, OpenAI, and others for the children who are no longer with us? Those are working through the courts right now, and the companies have issued statements of condolences and added some safety features. They've not fundamentally changed the underlying incentive structure, which is engagement, which is profit, which is the reason the sycophancy exists in the first place. Stanford's report says companies have a profit motive to see that you return again and again to their AI companions. And Psychiatric Times notes that tech companies fight fiercely against external regulation. The GUARD Act, a bipartisan Senate bill, was introduced in late 2025 to specifically ban minors from using AI companions and require age verification. At this point in time, it has not passed. Meanwhile, 87% of organizations experienced an AI-driven cyber attack in the past year. 40% have already had an AI-related privacy incident, and only 43% of businesses even have an AI governance policy. The accountability gap is not a bug at this point. It's clearly a feature. Move fast, deploy everywhere, deal with the lawsuits later if they come at all. Now look, I do use AI. I think it is a tool, and it's not going to go away once the bubble pops. It seems to be the people have it in their head that when the AI bubble pops, AI is just going to disappear. It's not going to disappear. I think it will settle down into exactly what it's meant to be, which is a powerful tool, and it is doing very good things in the industry. It's not all evil and all bad. I have a video out that outlines some of the really cool things that AI is actually doing. I think it does belong in our lives. It can be genuinely transformative when it's built responsibly and deployed honestly. But responsibly means acknowledging that a sycophant chatbot is a terrible therapist. It means not firing your entire customer service team and then acting surprised when customers hate your bots. It means not designing companion AIs that simulate romantic attachments and deploying them to children without guardrails. It means not building agents that hoover up your personal data, then being shocked when that data gets breached. The issue has never been the technology. The issue is who controls it, what incentives are driving it, and whether anyone is held responsible when it goes wrong. At least that we know of, 2 children are no longer with us from conversations with AI chatbots. Hundreds of thousands of people have had their data compromised through AI systems. Companies are quietly walking back AI experiments that cost real people their jobs, while PR departments write fancy press releases about AI-human collaboration. And we deserve better than that, guys. And we don't get better until we say it out loud. So if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Have you had a bad experience with an AI assistant? Tell me all about it. And if you want to go deeper on corporate AI accountability, calling out big tech and all the crap that they're doing, a little bit of gaming content, because I love that stuff too, and even here to learn more about technology. I'm not tech-minded, guys. I've worked very, very hard to get into technology and to learn about it and make it my career, and it's something that I love. But it was not easy for me, and I am making a series or a handful of different series, honestly, where I want to teach technology and create the videos that I wish I had access to when I was learning. So if any of this stuff interests you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you don't subscribe, though, I might be forced to banish you to the Shadow Realm.
Much better.
Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and peace out.